Okay, so I'm Becca. I'm a professional organizer. If you see my other videos before this, that's mostly what they are. Actually, I think that's all that they are. Um, but it's a slow period, and I'm also a crafty bitch. So I've decided, why not just put those videos in here too, instead of just not. So today, my boyfriend and I went to Joann Fabrics because they are sadly going out of business, and we knew we could get some good sales. He got some fabric that I'm not knowing. I need to find out where he put it. Ooh, I found it. Hang on. Okay, he got some fabric. The last time that he went, green and a slightly different shade of green. Like one's a little bit more like foresty. One's a little more sagey. You can't really tell. Anyway, okay, so he got fabric there, and then we were talking because he wants me to make him a cloak because he doesn't really know how to sew. He does know how to do leather work, so he's made some really, really cool stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to take like a little video. He doesn't like being on any video, but he's amazing at doing leatherworking and he's getting even better. I'm just going to show you what he made. Hang on. So far, how cool is that? So not this part. This part is like his body. Because he doesn't have one of the mannequins. But anyway, okay, so he wants me to make him a cloak. So we went to Joann Fabrics to get a pattern for a cloak. I watched somebody on YouTube make a cloak. So we got the same pattern that she did. We're going to do the cloak today. I'm going to do the green. He doesn't want it to be like wool or like a heavy fabric, even though this calls for a heavy fabric. It says for velvet, velveteen, shantung, I don't know what that is, tweed, and then it also has lining. So I'm not doing lining. The lady on the YouTube didn't do lining either, but she also did like wools. The reason we're not doing a lining is because, well, one, I don't feel like it, and two, because he doesn't want one. But we're doing a thinner fabric. This is like a cotton. So it is thin. It's just for the aesthetic. It's not really for the cloak part. But I am probably going to make him like a good wool cloak at some point. So this is me coming in and being in my creative period because we are in a recession. I have a lot of stuff that I can use up. The only reason that we bought stuff is because he wanted to buy things for this specific project. So, I don't know. This is just my little intro video of what I'm going to do. I'm going to go figure out what her YouTube was. So, hang on. I'm just going to, 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. It was Rachel Maxey or Makesy. I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I didn't pay attention to how she said her name because I was too focused on what she was doing. Okay, anyway. So, she made a cloak. I'm also going to make a cloak. This time, it will be C, which is Simplicity, 5794, which you can still get even when Joann Fabric is gone. Yeah. So I'm going to set up my sewing machine. Full disclosure, I am at my boyfriend's house, so I can't fully clean the way that I would like it to be cleaned and organized. It is his dining room table, which is a catch-all. Which is, that's actually normal. That's actually pretty normal. So I will be doing my best to make this space a good sewing space. But it's just a cloak. So it's going to be simple, easy, a few cuts. All I'm going to have to do is take this out of here. The little things are separated by which ones they are. So this tells you if you want to do C, which I want to do. This tells me the general directions of how to make this item. So, based off of making C, I need pieces 1, 2, 7, and 8. I'm just gonna flip you. This is silly. Okay. So, this is where it shows that I am doing C. Again, I don't think we're going to do the tie, so we're just not going to do that part. We're not going to cut that out. Here it shows what each piece is for. So 1 and 1A are cape front and cape back. That looks like it's the same for all of these. And then capelet is what it's called, I guess. That little, like, I've always called it a mantle, but this thing, that's only for A. So I don't need those. I don't need the hood that's for A. I don't need the hood that's for B. I'm not going to do the tie, so I'm not going to do that, but I will do the hood. So the hood for C. So I need the cape front, cape back, and then the hood for C. Down here, we just see the layout that they suggest for using, for how to lay it out, right? So unfortunately, I don't know the width of my fabrics. I'm going to figure that out, and I'm going to come back and decide which of these I'm going to do the layout for. They took it off the bolt, even though we bought the entire bolt. But yeah, so this will show the layout, the suggested layout. Now, obviously you can come up with other layouts, but this would be the suggested layout. So the fabric, your fabric has a grid in it. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it has like a little grid. So whenever your fabric is laid out, it will have little grids in it, just like this. It'll have line, 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 and line, 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 line. If you cut it out so that the middle is straight, it will lay more calmly. Let's just say that. It'll lay more calmly. It'll fold in on itself a little bit more because it has the perpendicular line going straight, not perpendicular, the parallel line. The middle is going along with the grid. If you look here, this is the tie. You want this to stretch a little bit, so that's why it's on diagonal. So if you take a piece of your fabric, if you have stiff fabric, and you try and pull, here, wait, let me. If you have stiff fabric, it won't work with this because you can twist it in all directions, right? But if you have stiff fabric and you pull it along with the grid, it doesn't stretch very much because it also has the grid going the other way, right? So it has the fabric going this way, but it also has fabric going this way. The strings that are holding your fabric together. So if you pull like this, it's getting stuck, right? Same thing if you pull this way, it gets stuck. But if you pull diagonally, it has a little bit of stretch because you're not pulling directly towards any of those lines, okay? So that's why whenever your ties, you make them go diagonally so that you can stretch it a little bit. Because if you have a tie that goes this way and you cut a little strip this way, it won't stretch. And it won't give you that versatility that you need to tie a bow. But if you have it go diagonally, it does have, if you get a pattern like this, it does have, it gives you like the grain line. So this little line right here is the grain line. So this is along your fabric.
Sound stripe. Sound stripe.
Okay, so I have the fabric laid out on the floor. Of course I do. That's the only place you can do it. Any sewer does this. Okay. You can hear the dog whining in the background because he's upset. I'm not letting him up here. Okay. So I'm measuring it to figure out my layout. It's a little over 20, it's about 21 inches. So 21 times 2 is 42. Bogey, stop crying. I'm gonna let him up. Okay, so it's about 42 inches. Unfortunately, none of the layouts that I have are 42 inches. Now, this is also something that we have to deal with as crafters. One, when you don't know what you don't know, you can't know to get the right thing, right? Justin, my boyfriend, literally got fabric because he liked the color and he liked the feel of it, how thin it was. On the back here, for any of you who are looking to do this, on the back here, or any pattern, it tells you what fabrics you need. And I say, I want C, okay? Up here, it'll tell you what fabrics you would want So it's saying velvet, velveteen, shantung, or tweed for the main fabric. I don't know if that's actually how you say that. And then the linings would be satin, taffeta. Okay. Now, here's the thing. One, he didn't know. He didn't know what to get. He didn't know where to look to see what fabric to get. And honestly, he doesn't want anything that heavy anyway, because we're going to be in Texas in May. So he didn't want a lining, but I am worried about not doing a lining with how thin this fabric is. It could easily get ripped. So, especially since this is what he would like as his tie. So if this is the case, he wants this. This is one that you stab it through the fabric. So I feel like this might rip if we only do one layer of fabric. Okay, so we did decide. We're going to do 2 strips of leather. We're going to do it leather, fabric, leather. Sew it. It'll have the holes in the middle of the leather and of the fabric. So I can put this puppy in. It's just one of those ones that you like stab a hole. You stab a hole in the fabric, stick this in, and then you twist this little puppy on the back. They're made for leather, so it's a little unconventional to use it for thin fabric, but I think it'll look really good when it's done, and hopefully not pull out. We're worried about it pulling out this way, but we're also worried about it being pulled this way when he puts the little strap on it. So that's what the leather's for. I think it'll work fine. Now I'm going to go through these. I'm going to figure out which of the patterns I need. I do need, let's see, I need 1 and 2. And then, so it has 1A and 2A that are the curves. So I will need to put those on there, but Justin doesn't want it nearly as long. So I think I'm going to shorten it as best I can to get the right height. So I'm going to take them together. Then I'm going to have him put them on, see how far he wants it down, go a couple inches longer, because him. Probably not inches, but I'd rather cut it longer and then be able to cut more off. Then I'm going to start sewing. So, we'll see. Okay. And we're going to go bigger on this because he does want it to be like really flowy. So even though it does have sizing on here, first off, it's a women's one, and secondly, he wants it nice and flowy. So we're just gonna hope that this fits okay. Okay, so on each pattern, it has lines that tell you the size. So I would probably go with a large if I was gonna go this for myself. Obviously, this is for a man. So I'm going to honestly go a little outside of the large just to make sure it's enough sizing. But I'm also shortening it. So you see how it expands out here and it gets wider. This part's going to go up higher. So I'm going to cut it smaller, like from here to here is going to get cut out. So here to here would get cut out. So it's going to be a little wider anyway. I'm mostly just worried about the shoulders at this point. So, but we also have a bunch of extra fabric. So
Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe.
Okay, I have these cut out. I did have to just make up the length, like you can see that here, where I just taped a bit to it to make it up because it was very close to being the correct length. We needed it 45 inches from this bit all the way down to the end because he wants it to hit his knee. And I'm making it a little bit extra than that just in case. We can always make it shorter. We can't make it longer. Okay, another teaching moment. So these notches right here, they're little carrots so that you can line things up whenever you're sewing. This I feel like should match, since this is the back, I feel like it should match with, yes, with the hood. See that notch there? That'll get there somehow. I'm sure that is probably how that attaches to there, and this is just a line to say, hey, this matches here. It probably goes like, probably goes like that. No, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe it goes like this. Oh, lordy. Okay. Probably goes like this. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, it goes like this. And then this comes here. So I actually did make a mistake. So I was going to try and make it wider. But now I'm realizing if this is supposed to match up here, it won't be correct. So I probably will just have to make it the normal width. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll just be able to make the hood a little bit farther back. Yeah, I'll probably make it farther back, and then I'll take this bit on the front, that bit right there, and just like turn it down a little bit past the hood. That's what I'll probably end up doing. Okay, so I'm going to do a basting stitch. All I have to do is press, this is a normal straight stitch. It's normal straight, normal. Press OK, and then I can increase the size of my threads. So I'm going to do, this is hard to do when I'm looking at the camera. I'll increase it to 3, increase it to 4. I feel like that would be safe.
Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe.
Now I can change this back to normal.
Sound stripe. 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 Sound
So you can see here that it has, like, even though I measured it, it's different. So I don't know if I sucked at measuring or if I just didn't pay attention to how it sloped. I'm not 100% certain, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm probably just going to take it down so it kind of fits. Instead of trying to cut this entire seam straight, I'm just going to marry the edges in. So I'm going to see how it looks. We'll see. And then I'm going to have him try it on, which I won't show you because he doesn't want to be on camera. Off camera, I went ahead and stitched, sorry, ignore Netflix. I stitched the hood together. So it says right sides together. Okay, here's the thing about this fabric. It says right sides together, which means the thing you want on the outside. That means the fabric you want on the outside. But here's the thing about this fabric. There's not really a difference between the sides. So you can't say there's a right side and a wrong side. So I just guessed. And then since I'm not doing a lining, I just basted this down and pinned it so that whenever I sew it to the back, it'll stay down. And then I'm just going to iron this. He says he has an iron, but I don't know where it is. I can iron this flat so it'll look less goofy because it's going to lay well. So you won't even notice this. I don't think you'll notice that this is like fresh. And if you do, I will trim it so it's smaller. Okay, this is where I can show you what right sides are. Okay. So this is the wrong side. This is the side you'll want inside touching your body. This is the right side because it has the back seam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the back seams. Yeah. This is the side, I think, that touches the neck. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to line up the back seam. So it's going to be the hood and the back of the cape or cloak. I don't know the difference, if I'm being honest. I'll flatten the seam out just like I did before on the other side, just because I don't like it being bunched up on one side. I'll go ahead and pin this like this. And then remember, this is where I made changes. So normally this little notch, you see that? This little notch would match up with this little notch, but I added some size to it, remember? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like gradually stretch the hood a little bit and make it tight in here. And I'm just going to like pin it where I can, because this was also bias. That's what it is. This was cut on a bias, so it's stretchy. Do you see the difference here? Wait, okay. This was not cut on a bias. I can't really stretch it. This was cut on a bias. See how stretchy it is? That's what it is. Okay, anyway. So I'm going to pin this really closely together so that it stays with the hood. And then whatever's extra here on the cloak, I will just curve so that it's not like as sharp in.
Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe. Sound stripe.
Okay, hello. It is the next day. I did not keep doing, I did not keep working on stuff after I attached the hood to the rest of the cloak. I realized that I was exhausted and hungry. So I had dinner with my boyfriend, and then we went to Sweet Frog because we're fiends for dessert. And today I am back at my house. I have my sewing table set up. I moved it out of my dining room and into my sunroom, so I have a very nice view. Nice table set up, a lot of space. Look how there's nothing else on the table except for sewing things. So, now that I have the hood on the cloak, let me just try it on for you to see. Now, obviously, I am not the person that is going to be on. Oh gosh, I am not the person that's going to be on, so it does look a little different. Here, let me take my sweater off. It is going to look a little bit different on me than it would on my boyfriend, and it doesn't have a clasp on it. It doesn't have the hems yet. This is what it'll look like. I did end up making these a little bit more round instead of pointed. I didn't like the pointed look. It'll make it easier to put the little hems in. It'll have hooks, so it'll go together about here on him. Nice hood action. And then, here, let me put the hood on. Oh my goodness! My hair just keeps getting in the way. This is the hood on. Okay. This is why I don't like trying on things. Hood on with pretend there's a snap there. I think it'll look really cute. Now again, this is thinner than the normal material that you would do this with. We are looking to probably get some thicker like velvet or wool or something like that for, I don't know, the fall Renaissance festivals, or just to wear in general, because it's honestly really cute.
Soundstripe. 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 Soundstripe.
Okay. So, I've made the executive decision the next time I make a cape like this, I will either not be double folding it or I will do a lining. So either it has to be a fabric that doesn't fray or it has to be something that we do a lining in. I found that some of the spaces look really good, like none of the hood. Like this. You can't see it because the lighting is terrible because it got dark. But this looks really good. Whereas some spots don't look so hot. But the good thing is this is my first foray back into sewing after a long time not sewing. So I'm very proud of this. I will come back soon. Sorry, my dog just dripped water on me. I will come back soon whenever we get the patches put on the front, so like the leather patch bit put on the front, so we can add the button. And see, he dribbled all over it. You can't even see. He dribbled all over it. But yeah, so the cloak is done. Is it the best thing I've made? No. Am I happy with it? Yes. It is good for what it is, and I'm just gonna get better. Honestly, I'm trying to get over being a perfectionist. That's why I stopped sewing in the first place. And then I realized, like, I can create cool stuff, and nobody else is gonna see the shit that I see because they weren't the ones who made it. So I feel good. It is now time to finally go to bed because it's been a long day. Hello, good morning. I don't know how many days it's been since I worked on this project last. I kind of put it on pause to work on other projects, and I had to wait. Sorry, my cat's coming over here to say hi. I had to put it aside because we only had one piece left, and I kind of needed my boyfriend for that. So, originally, whenever we first talked about doing this project, I talked about getting clasps, so that it could hook, but then I didn't really want to buy more hardware, and like he said that he was going to wear it like back a little bit, so I kind of wanted something stretchy. So he had this clasp at home. I don't really know why he got it. He put one of them on something else that he made leather wise. But he came over the other day and we poked a hole in the cloth. There's grass in it because we wore it. I'm doing this after we went out and had a Ren Fair all weekend. But, yeah, it went really well. It could have gone bad. It could have destroyed the entire cloak. But that's how I got pictures to show you at the end of this. But anyway, so he came over and he took this leather piece and he just cut it to shape. He did glue it onto the fabric. I think I have to add more glue because it is coming up. I wanted to do like a fabric adhesive or even like wood glue, like something that I know is strong. He says that rubber cement was made for fabrics and for leathers. So we used rubber cement. I think we need to use more rubber cement. But the reason for gluing the leather on is I didn't want, this is a very thin fabric, so I didn't want to poke a hole in this thin fabric and have this clasp get pulled to the side and just rip right through the fabric. So it is still doing its job. It's still adhering on like a thicker, like instead of being a hole this size, it's now adhering like this. So that's good. It's still doing its job. And on the other side, and this is balling on a budget because again, I don't want to go buy an entire thing of stretchies. I have a hair tie, little tiny hair tie. So I just use this to clasp. But I also, sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. If you can't, great. I'm sorry if you can. Hopefully he's not too loud. But, yeah, this worked really well. It clasped, and then it also gave him enough room that, like, if he wanted to put it over his shoulders, like, back, so that he could, like, do things with his arms, he could. Now, overall, I did love doing this project. It was a good foray getting back into sewing. This was my first project back in a long time. I got the sewing machine out. It is out for a while now. I'm looking forward to all of my future projects. But I did tell my boyfriend the next time that we do this one, because we both want more cloaks. Like, I want one for cold weather. I know he's gonna want one for cold weather, but like also we went to the Ren Fest this weekend and I only have one that's like kind of heavier. I'd like one lighter weight like this, but I would still put like a lining in it. The reasoning is it's much easier. Like this pattern was made for, you're essentially making two cloaks and putting the lining in to make the hem. Or the outer edges. It makes it look more clean. You don't have to worry about folding everything perfectly and making it lay correctly. There are definitely edges on this that I'm not really happy with, but I know what it's for. It's not for like an everyday project. It's not something that like he's going to be wearing all the time, and I know I can do better next time. Or I know how to fix this one if anything would happen. But I don't know. It just, there are things that I'm learning from doing this that like I'm fine with changing the fabrics, but I don't think with this project it's a good idea not to do a lining. I do think it's very hard to hem things on a curve because you kind of have to like fold the fabric in a little extra or like stretch the fabric a little extra or something like that, depending on which way the curve is going. I think that added to the difficulty. Also, trying to do this at his house and then moving it to my house was annoying because then the fabric got all wrinkled in the drive, and then it was harder to line everything up because everything was a little wrinkled. And I was too lazy to iron it, so that one's kind of on me, but ironing is annoying when you know you have to do it so much. But overall, I love this project. I will do it again. When I do it again, I will probably bring you along because it'll be later on in my sewing journey, my re-sewing journey. I'm overall very excited about getting back into sewing. Am I excited about how much room it takes up in my house? No. But I think it's going to be good for me to be creative like this. And Timby says hi. Timby. Yeah, so I'm happy. I hope you're happy with the project. And if you make it, then do the lining. Do a lining even if you do thin fabric. Also, I apologize because I started editing another video and I realized that if I do front-facing camera and then I switch it to back-facing camera again, it lags. So I am sorry about that, but I have no way to go back and fix it. So I apologize. But it's a learning curve. Okay. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to put the pictures in now. And I hope you enjoy my page. I will be adding some more things to this page. I'm very excited to talk about some books that I read because I have no one to talk about them with. My boyfriend has some ideas that I should create outfits based off of some books that I'm reading. Maybe I'll do that depending on the book, depending on the outfit. Yeah. Overall, excited to start this page. So, come along with me. Okay,